Good day, grade 10s. I hope you're all well, healthy, and ready to begin the new term. We are quite aware of what is happening, the current pandemic of the coronavirus. That is why we have decided to go digital. However, we are starting with poetry and continuing. The title of the poem is Hope is the Thing with Feathers, written by Emily Dickinson. Now it's quite relevant because this is all we are doing right now, hoping that the pandemic will come to an end. So it should be easy to relate, therefore, because we all cling onto life because of the hope that we have, the hope for a better tomorrow, the hope that even if we're experiencing difficulties, we may conquer and reach the destinations that we are seeking. Without wasting much time, I'll take you to the next slide where I will just read the poem to you. Hope is the thing with feathers. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and so must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. All right, you can always take a second reading so that you get a feel of what the poet is trying to communicate with you. As part of our notes, the first point, the poet uses a central metaphor of a tiny bird to convey feelings about hope. Now, a metaphor is a comparison between two things. And in this case, the poet is comparing a hope to a tiny bird. Point number two. She likens hope to a bird from line one, reflecting on its frailties and its weaknesses. Why would one compare hope to a bird? Perhaps we are looking at the gentle nature of the bird, the tenderness of the bird, its abilities to perch or to sit. As birds would perch on branches, hope is being said to have that quality of perching on our souls. The through extended metaphor, line two. Now, an extended metaphor is when the poet makes a comparison from the beginning of the poem and it runs into the following lines of the poem or throughout the stanza or throughout the poem. Now, in line two, she uses the word perches, which is what birds do. In this case, it is hope she is referring to, which sits in the soul and sustains her or keeps her going. So the poet is saying, without hope, there's barely nothing for us. Like I said in the beginning, we are in a pandemic currently, and all of us are actually hopeful that this will come to pass. We'll go back to school. For some of you who don't like to go back to school, but we are hopeful that our lives can continue as normal without fear of stepping outside our houses into the streets or even in town. So, hope is what keeps us going. It's there, it sits, it perches on our souls. Point number 4, the aspect of it sitting in line 3 again relates to its ability to offer comfort. In times of distress, what we all need is hope to keep us going. The next point, the poet is quite confident in the power of hope. Right? She feels in line 4, it will always be there. It's there to stay in our souls. Now, because of that, we can conclude that the overall tone is hopeful because the poet has hope that hope will never dissipate, will never disappear. And the central theme is that hope is always there in our lives. Moving on to stanza 2, she suggests that hope is greatest or sweetest in the gale. Literally, a gale is a very strong wind with destructive abilities, normally accompanied by torrential heavy rainfall and quite destructive. Metaphorically, what the persona or the poet is implying is that in difficult times in our lives, this is when we need hope the most. And it is this time that it keeps us self destructive. So that's why she says it's sweetest. This is the time that we really need it when we are in distress. The word so in line 6 implies something painful and harsh. The poet is suggesting that the storm could be in reality people trying to break us. And these people are indeed harsh because they try to abash. To abash meaning to humiliate, to shame us, thus destroying the hope that keeps us going. So she says, that kept so many warm, that kept so many going. In the third and final stanza, the poet speaks of the chilliest land, suggesting tough environments and strangest sea when we are about to explode emotionally and would never expect hope to exist, but it still exists. So she is suggesting that the chilliest land, the strangest of seas, would be the toughest times in our lives when we are experiencing total emotional breakdown. But she says hope still exists. She makes use of the pronoun I, suggests a personal connection, bearing in mind the history of the poet. I want you to go back to your notes that we gave you, read the biography of the poet, and this will make greater sense. Line 11, beginning with yet, concludes her conviction. She is utterly convinced that it asks for no fee. Hope is there for all to keep us going, despite all the horrible times, difficult, dangerous, or distressful. It is there in the soul to comfort us. Okay, so that is all about hope is the thing with feathers. Without wasting so much time again, this is your homework. Answer questions 1.1 to 1.5. If you have any personal questions, please inbox me on my WhatsApp and I will be able to assist you concerning the poem that we have just looked at. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.